Hello, welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining me as I explore this incredible, amazing, very interesting wide world of pens that I'm very fortunate to be able to participate in and share with you some of my pen finds. And yes, this pen's been around for a year or so in this design, and I wasn't even aware of it. But I'm not really a retractable fountain pen person, so I may have ignored it. But I saw it at the show. I love the look. I figured, let me give it a try. The size is also nice. I like that. The clip is removable. At least Nahvalur said it was, but it said it wasn't easy. I'm not going to attempt that, just to let you know that if you needed to remove the clip, it is removable. It's not permanently attached. I have my new crab holding it up, and hopefully it shows off that color because it's in the same kind of family as the color of that crab, and I got the crab because of that particular color that I like. And hopefully the light's catching those facets that are on the side of the pen. Like I said, I love the design, fell in love with it, and it's, again, one of those things. You go to a pen show and you see a pen, and you may have ignored it if you saw a picture of it, but when you see it in person, it just goes, whoa, gotta have it. So that's why it's here, and that's why we're going to explore it. We'll take a look at the bits and pieces, and obviously we need to ink it up and see how it writes. Stay tuned. So one of the main features of a retractable fountain pen is how it clicks. And if we look at this barrel closely, we'll see how that slides into each other. It just works well. So it's a little bit longer when the nib is retracted and a little bit shorter in length when the nib is extended, but overall from nib end to end of barrel stays pretty constant. So since this is a different design, there's no little button here to push, but you can do it easily one-handed. You just have to hold it down by the clip, and it's easy to do. And it's quite physically rewarding. The other thing about this design, because of that sharp design of these different angles, you can feel that edge. And to me, if they rounded the edge, then it wouldn't have that same look. You know, the geometry, I think, is important, and when you're writing with the pen, your fingers are down here, and that's fine, very, very comfortable. To me, the diameter of this section here allows me to use this pen where vanishing points in other retractable pens just are too small. The clip gets in the way. I can't move my fingers around. But this, I've written a number of pages with it, and I feel good. I don't have any issues. I could continue to write until it runs out of ink, which with that small converter is not a long time. So I think you know why I like this pen, and it looks great. Nahvalur retractable pen basically has three components. We'll call this the barrel, which is actually the top of the pen where the nib comes out. We'll call this the cap, and this is the nib assembly. And we have a spring here, which easily comes out when you remove this to ink it up or whatever. And as Doodlebud, I'll reference his video a lot because they were good videos, but this should be somewhat secure in there and not come out easily. If you look at this nib unit, you'll say, boy, that really looks familiar. If you pull out the converter, and it fits pretty good, you'll say that, wow, that opening looks familiar. Yeah, not much movement there. So you might say, could some other popular retractable fountain pen assembly work like it does in other ones? The answer is no. So one of the big differences, if you line up the nibs and you look back through this steel section, you'll notice that the little bump here that's part of the mechanism to retract the pen is the opposite side in the Nahvalur versus the Pilot. And also the end is a little bit different, and this end is kind of critical to the mechanism to extract it. But this has that same, very small converter, has some of those weird agitator balls in it. So maybe it holds 0.5 mil, who knows. But whatever it is, not a lot, which is one of my main concerns with retractable pens. So I kind of think I have an ink in mind. Wonder what it could be. So one thing that's extremely novel about Nahvalur's design is the cap. We'll call it the cap, barrel, whatever you want to call it. Has those threads there that match up to those threads. So when you put the pen together and you turn this knob, those threads engage. And, it takes a few turns and they're fully engaged. I just love the look of this pen. And of course you turn it to remove the section, put the spring in, which you got to be careful, it comes out. The nib assembly goes into that little slot. You put this back on and then you can, no need to line up anything, just put it in place. Screw that cap in place. And there it is. We're all set and ready to go. It's a strong spring. You really know it when it comes back out. Obviously, the main key is how does it write and how long does it stay wet before it dries up. I love the black clip. I love all of the design elements from a visual perspective. So, retractable pens need a nice, reliable ink, and of course, I would get a new ink. This is the one. Here's how it's described on the website. Nice 50 milliliter beautiful bottle for a very good price. Here's what it looks like on a paper towel. And yes, it definitely is blue-black, more on the blue side, which I like. Let's hope it works well in the Eclipse. So one of the first things you'll notice is this medium nib writes like a fine, almost to the extra fine category. So if you like a fine nib, this medium would work well for you. If you wanted a bigger nib, they don't offer that right now. And if you got the fine nib, it would be very, very fine. But I like the way it feels on paper. You may have heard a little bit of feedback, and yes, you get feedback from this nib, primarily because of that small tipping that's on it. I've now been using this pen for over a week. I've let it set for a couple days, and every time I clicked it, it wrote immediately as it touched the paper. So in my experience with pens, that's an indication that this nib will stay wet for a considerable period of time. I'm not willing to wait a week or two to confirm that. I think other reviewers have done that, and I think they feel that the nib stays as wet as any retractable pen out there, which is a good sign. And Nahvalur first edition of this apparently dried out quickly, which I've experienced with a lot of retractable pens, including the Pilot one. But this new version works much better. The seal at the end is much better. So therefore, the clickable pen now goes into a very usable category, at least from my perspective. So we've come to the conclusion of this video review of this interesting pen from Nahvalur called the Eclipse. Been around for a while. This is the second version of it, which is very much improved, at least from sealing of the nib, which in a clickable, retractable fountain pen is a key feature in order to make it be an everyday writer or a pen that you use occasionally, but when you click it, it writes first time every time. I love the look, which I've said many times in this video. Is the pen perfect? Well, no pen is perfect, but I like this pen. And to me, that's one of the fun parts of fountain pen collecting, is you can like a pen for various reasons. Many people may not like it, but that's immaterial, not relevant. What's really important is what you feel about a pen, how much you enjoy using the pen, and is it something that brings a smile to your face? Hopefully, you have some fountain pens that do that for you. I hope this video finds everyone safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying all of your pens, your inks, your papers, putting down a line. It could be a scribble, or it could be some interesting looking script, or it could be some line drawings. Whatever it is, use your pens, have fun with your pens. That's what we should do today. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. Oh, we've reached the end, and we will say bye-bye-bye. Look forward to some other reviews coming up.